got to feel in heaven when my lover's near. Lord, let this moment last for another year. Though today has ended, the night's still young, I'd say. Lover, don't go away. Let it be the thing that I am longing for. Let's fly out from Manhattan to the California shore, just to watch the ships at night on the San Francisco Bay. Oh, lover, please, please stay. Don't say you have to go. Don't say you need to run. I'll stop the clock on Central Station and we can have a drink downtown. Let it be the night that I am longing for. Let's fly down south to Austin or to Ecuador, just to drink pina colada on a hot, wet summer's day. Oh, lover, please, please stay. Yeah!
Hello, welcome everybody. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Suddenly I'm giving the tips away.
Oh, give tips away.
Welcome everybody to the Stir Crazy Sack Cassette. I'm the Divine Danny D.
I am Elle Diabloe.
And we just, I dropped a glass literally 2 seconds before we went on air.
Yep.
Exploded a cocktail. So
I think we did a good job.
I think we got it all. Though if we end up with
glass foot.
Well,
Cheers.
well, there you are.
Although, way to get it cleaned up and make yourself a new cocktail in a hot second.
There you are.
Cheers.
If you've never joined us before, this is our Sack Cassette. We like to take an idea, make some drinks around it, make some food around it, enjoy some weirdness.
Much weirdness.
Yes.
Many weirdnesses.
Many weirdnesses. We are based in Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
We are.
And we are performers in the burlesque realm.
We used to be.
I don't know, I always have to tell you, like you don't know. I always feel like I'm talking to you.
I feel a little lost these days, so maybe it's good that you're reminding me what my purpose in life is.
Yeah, so I'm a performer, a comedian, a host, a producer.
I am also a performer and a host and a producer and a burlesque choreographer and teacher and,
And since this whole thing happened, we decided to make a cooking show.
Well, that's a natural...
It's a natural progression.
Yep. No, we both love to cook and certainly love to drink. And so, yeah. So for the next 2 hours, we're going to make some food. We're going to make sticky noises on the floor.
Yeah, we got sticky noises on the floor.
We have proof that I didn't clean the floor as well as I thought I did. And,
we're gonna make a lovely cocktail today. We have some amazing friends joining us today. Sorry, I didn't mean to bash you. Including more music from the history of gunpowder.
I'm super excited.
I think this is a video you even haven't seen.
It's very possible. I like sometimes when people send you things and then I get to see them for the first time when we're live, because then you get my honest to goodness, unfiltered reaction, which sometimes is good, sometimes less so.
So today's episode we have called Sexy Science, a Breaking Bad episode.
Now, for something that's, as you're saying that back to me and considering, I flipped my hair in the mic. We didn't do a promo this week, if anybody didn't notice. And I think it's so funny because putting context to Sexy Science, a Breaking Bad cooking and cocktail show.
Yeah.
It was just sort of floating out there with no
Just
anchor.
hanging into the ether.
So maybe we should, like, at least because we didn't do a
Give some
promo, we should
context?
give some context to this.
Well, I think the whole thing is we wanted to do a Breaking Bad episode. We like the idea of doing episodes based on TV and films.
Mhm.
And you love Breaking Bad.
I do love Breaking Bad.
I think it's fine.
I know. I'm well aware of your feelings about it.
But what it also really did was lend itself to kind of a sciencey based episode as well. So taking some of the things, for instance, today if you can tell, we're having a cocktail to start off with. This is a classic Negroni.
Yes.
If you've never made a Negroni before, it's a very simple classic cocktail. And it's simply just an ounce of gin, an ounce of Campari, and an ounce of sweet vermouth. So it's this beautiful blend of spirit, a little bitter, a little citrusy, and a little sweet, winey. And into this beautiful blend Italian cocktail.
Sweet whining was my nickname in high school.
Was it? Excellent. That's good to know. One of the classic cocktails. And today we're going to take that same cocktail and we're going to do a process to it called clarification, which is...
Could you clarify that,
I will
please?
clarify clarification. We're going to take this cocktail and separate it into its two parts. Essentially the flavor profile and the spirit.
Okay.
So the spirit in this case is gin. The flavor profile is bitter with hints of sweetness and citrus.
Okay.
So we're going to take the bitter, sweet, citrusy element and we are going to run it through milk.
Milk?
Milk. We're going to combine it with milk, and as we get into it, I'll explain what's going on, but we're going to end up with an entirely different kind of concept of a cocktail that is absolutely one of the most delicious things you would ever put in your mouth.
All right.
And you, what are we making with science food?
All right, science food. See, I tried to, because I couldn't cook meth on the show. Plus, I don't know how to do that.
Deanne may be doing that.
One never knows. But there's algorithms and stuff. Plus, you know.
Algorithms that prevent you from making meth?
Yeah.
I think that's just called the law.
It's
just the law.
So instead, I wanted to also do something that's a little bit sciencey, and we're actually going to make pizza tonight. Pizza from scratch for two reasons. First of all, there's a lot of science involved in actually making pizza. Speaking of which, would you be a doll and turn the oven to 550 degrees?
I will.
Please? If you are cooking along with us today, you want to get your oven preheated to the highest temperature it can possibly go. And if you have a pizza stone, if you don't, what you doing with your life? But if you have a pizza stone, keep that in the oven. Let that come up to temperature along with the oven. So we're going to make some dough.
I should show them quickly. If you've never seen a pizza
If
stone.
you've never seen a pizza stone.
That's a pizza stone.
Le voila,
a pizza stone. Just a piece of stone.
A piece of stone.
That
pizza stone. Yes. So we're going to talk about dough. Because, you know, there's a lot of science in
baking in general,
and fermentation of yeast and all of that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about cheese and melting cheese. We're going to talk, about cheese and dough. And the sauce that we're using is a sauce that we've used before on the show. So if you were here for when we made the marinara, it's pretty much that, just with a hand blender, basically. So... Science of pizza, coming at you. Science of clarifying cocktails using milk. And also, I chose the pizza because of the most epic scene ever in Breaking Bad, when Walt throws the pizza and it lands on the roof.
Yes.
So I took my inspiration directly.
Will you be throwing your pizza on a roof at some point?
I don't. The roof of my mouth.
No.
Let's go over there and say hi to the people.
Let's say hi to the people. Hello, everybody. We're getting things going on. I'm just going to check the streams and make sure we're working okay.
Are we working okay?
We look like we're working okay.
Right. I like it when everything's working okay.
That's a level. Oh, that seems to be working
right,
fine.
cool. Awesome. So let's go back and talk to the people now that we came over here to see them.
I know. I'm just making sure. I didn't get a chance to hit this button before. All right, we're working good. Excellent.
Hey.
Everybody is here. Hey. It's nice to see you. Excellent. Kelly's here, everybody.
Misty's here.
We're going to get some people.
Did I see your mama, maybe?
Excellent. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, my mama is there.
Mama.
Excellent.
Bonsoir, Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
Bonsoir, Kelly Cahill.
Yes.
Allez-vous bien, les amis? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Quoi de nouveau?
It's good to see you all. It's been this whole week has been a little slower, so we apologize if you're expecting our brilliance in a promo. We didn't get a chance to do it. We've been sort of swamped with a million other things, but we will be back next week with something very cool.
Oh yes, for sure.
Very, very cool.
But also, I don't know. Like, I think we can be honest with our friends over here. Like, it's hard these days to find inspiration. I think sometimes it's a little bit, it's weird. You know, last week I went off about the whole back to school scenario, and like I don't know. It's yeah. So it's been a week here. It hasn't been such a like It's been kind of more like but we're here with you, and that honestly gives me so much life. So that's awesome. And
excellent.
Thank you for being with us.
Cool. I'm just making sure a couple things are going well. We're fine. We're doing great there. All right. Yes, and thank you very much for being here with us on this chat. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to check what everybody's in. Misty's here. We're getting people coming in on the event. It's now starting to pick up a little bit more.
Really?
Some people in Twitch, some people on Facebook.
Feel free to invite your friends.
Yeah, if you notice on Facebook too, if you follow us, I've noticed a lot more people are going and following and watching the show on YouTube, which is what we love. But we also have a fair amount of people who still watch it on Facebook, and some people are watching it on the Wiggle Room feed, which we're no longer broadcasting on the Wiggle Room feed. We're broadcasting
because they're going to start, doing stuff again.
They're start doing stuff. So let's let them do stuff. We'll do our stuff.
Everybody's
stuff will be
stuff.
done. But you can also catch this on the Sitcom Burlesque feed.
Yes.
So all kinds of different places.
We're everywhere.
Excellent. Yes, we got
coming at you with science.
Shall we go make some science?
We can make some science.
Excellent. We'll be making some science. YouTube for the win.
Oh, excellent. Good.
It is so much better quality. I agree wholeheartedly.
Good stuff.
Let's talk about that, shall we? All right. We are going to start with so much alcohol.
Okay, careful, because
look at all of the booze we're going to use today.
I didn't realize I was doing gray on gray. Can you tell I'm like having a depressed week?
We're both very gray today.
Yeah.
All right. So what we are going to be making is a Clarified Negroni. Now, I'm going to put this with the stipulation that it might not just be a Clarified Negroni. Negroni is, of course, gin, Campari, sweet vermouth. Mm-hmm. But you could also do this with what's called a Boulevardier, mm-hmm. which is a Negroni, except you swap rye for gin.
Okay.
So all the other stuff is the same. Now we're going to do this a little bit different. And what's beautiful about this process is that you can do a nice batch of it, set it aside in the fridge, and leave it, because we're going to fortify this with some vodka so it will keep for a very, very long time. So you can like make, take the amounts of the measures I put here, double them, triple them, whatever, put them in somewhere. I like to take, especially when you're buying booze, so you'll notice a lot of alcohol with really cool bottles. Mm. Keep the bottles sometimes. It's environmentally nice, but what you can do with something like what we're about to do is that bottle will then be a beautiful container that you can stick in the fridge, and you're ready to have a clarified Negroni whenever you want. Because once we do this process, the actual making of the cocktail is one of the simplest things you'll ever see. So, we want to bring up my ingredients there.
I for sure do.
This has got a few different elements in here. And can you also, I'll grab them here. While you're doing that, I'll go over here and grab these two things that I forgot to put out. All right, so there's a lot of ingredients in this, because what we're going to do is a little bit more than just the flavor profile of the Campari and the vermouth. We're gonna sort of bolster that a little bit, because we're gonna add a lot more bitters into this. Campari is quite a bitter thing, but we're gonna want to try and enhance that orange flavor. And again, this is a Campari, which is an orange bitter liqueur, or bitter orange liqueur. So we're gonna add a little sweet to that by adding some Aperol. Okay. Same idea, it's a bitter orange liqueur, but it's a little on the sweeter side than the Campari. Mm-hmm. To that, we're also going to add our sweet red vermouth. And as I said before, to fortify it, we're going to just put some vodka in it. Now we're going to really enhance the bitters in that. We're going to put in a big chunk of orange bitters themselves.
A chunk of bitters?
A big chunk. Like more generally when I measure bitters, I'll measure it in dashes.
Yes.
We'll be measuring in 1/2 to 3/4 of an ounce. And I also like to add in this one a little bit of Peychaud because again, I think it's similar profiles, just a different measure. So you get a really complex, rich flavor. Because the process in this, and what we're doing with the process is we're going to put this into milk.
Yes,
this,
you
of
mentioned that.
course,
In
will.
principle, that
sounds terrible.
Curdles, like
And that's the whole point. It's exactly what you want. We are going to curdle the milk. And what happens is when we curdle milk, we put this into milk, the milk will curdle. The milk separates into 2 parts. The curds and the whey.
Like Little Miss Muffet?
Exactly. The curds become a liquid that actually incorporate themselves into the drink. Mm-hmm. That incorporation of the whey takes all the edges. Have you ever had a drink and you go, oh, that's strong, you go, oh, smooth, that reaction to alcohol? Mm-hmm. This will take all of that out. It'll be just rich and delicious. It will feel almost like it's syrupy without being thick and viscous. It's really just an amazing flavor and texture on the mouth.
It's got good mouthfeel.
And the other side of that is that the curds are what are actually going to clarify. We're going to put this, and we're going to run this through a funnel and some coffee filters. And what's going to happen is this is going to separate. All the curds are going to sink to the bottom. Mm. They're going to act as the filter. They're going to literally clarify any of the colors of the impurities out of there.
Cocktail ghee.
It is, basically. And we're going to let that happen. So the first things that we are going to do, we're going to make it into here so that I can pour into that later. Is that what I'm doing? Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That seems backwards.
Nope, that's exactly what I want to do.
All right.
That's exactly what I want to do. I'm sorry. You need about 3 or 4 containers for this to really make it work. So we're going to start off really simple. Sorry, and for juices, because we need it to curdle, we need a little citric acid. That will help. Mm-hmm. Because we want it to be bitter, a lot of recipes like this, you'll find actually use grapefruit juice. Unfortunately, due to my medication, mm-hmm. I cannot have grapefruit juice. So I'm just going to have a combination of some lemon and some lime juice. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our base. So we're going to start off with, right, there we are, some Campari. So we're just going to add 2 ounces. I'm going to bring that up again. Sorry, I didn't see that there. Boop. There we are. And we're just going to do 2 ounces. Nope, that's not what I want. The other one. No, you won't be able to see it. There's one that says the bitter mixture. You won't be able to see it because it's behind that thing.
Oh, well, that thing will go away in a second.
So we're going to start off with 2 ounces of each of the things that we need. So we're going to start off with 2 ounces of the Campari. We're going to add 2 ounces of the Aperol. We're going to add another 2 ounces of the sweet red vermouth. An amber vermouth would work very well in this as well. And 2 ounces of vodka. The vodka is there to really fortify it, to make it storable without it spoiling.
There you go.
There we are. So I did all that, right? Okay, cool. Also to this, we are going to add. Oops, sorry, brought it up again.
I know, I'm doing it. I figured it right away.
There we go. There we are. That's the other thing. So we're going to add an ounce of our lemon juice and an ounce. This is our lime juice. An ounce of lime juice. And we're going to add an ounce of lemon juice. And we are going to put in, this is orange bitters. I really like the Dillons in this. So we're going to add, this is going to take a bit of time.
Check.
Maybe I can put that, pull that stopper out. There we are. We'll pull the stopper out for a second. We will just
I was
go.
getting excited just to
I
bounce
know,
up
I
and
know,
down
I know
with
you
you.
were. We're going to add literally just 3/4. I'm adding just
I'm still gonna do
under
it.
3/4 of an ounce of orange bitters. Make it very, very bitter. That's very nice. It's fun to watch too when you do that. And we're going to add
Don't go so fast.
half an ounce of the Peychaud. All right. And we are just going to give that a little bit of a mix. Now, what I would really recommend you do at this point, just take your bar spoon and give that a taste. You may want to adjust some of your mixtures. Yeah. As you can see, you can sort of taste that flavor profile that I talked about before. It's the back end of the Campari. It's very bitter.
There's a lot of citrus.
There's a lot of citrus. I might even add a little bit more orange bitters to that. And I might even bring up a little bit more, put another ounce of Aperol, just to add a little of that Aperol sweetness to it. All right.
It's funny because I find Aperol is very sweet, especially when you compare it to the Campari, which is a similar flavor profile. But I still find there's that to Aperol. There's that bitter
There is.
note to it.
Yes,
At the end.
yes, very much. All right. Our next step is we are going to start. Next step is we're going to
Did you use your
add.
center?
Huh?
Did you put your
Oh,
center?
sorry. That's my goodness. I always forgot about that. We're going to add also a bar spoon of ginger to that. That's on. I want to mix that in. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to add that. We had some ginger, so a bar spoon, teaspoon of ginger, basically. Just going to add a little spice, a little nice to that. All right, into our mixing glass, we are going to add 3 ounces of milk. Now this is whole milk, or 3.25% milk. That's the minimum amount of fat you'd want. You want a fattier milk. 1%, 2% skim don't work very well for this process. So this half and half, even like a light cream, will work well. But I like just whole milk. So we're going to add 3 ounces whole milk to a glass. The important thing here is we're going to add our mixture into the milk, never the other way around.
Pourquoi?
Because what we're looking for is the curdling reaction to happen as quickly as possible. In order for, and for basically everything that's here to be immediately incorporated into that curdling reaction. If we pour this into the milk into the mixture, it'll start at the top. The stuff at the bottom will not activate that curdling.
Understood.
We go the other way, it all hits the milk immediately.
That makes sense.
So next step, we're just going to pour all of that into there. And as you can see, let's bring the overhead up. Where we are, there we are. Hi, overhead. Oh, there we go. There we are. You can see in there, it is immediately starting to curdle.
Yep.
We are even going to give that a little bit of mixture. We're going to help that along. We don't want to go stir it up too much, but we really want that curdling reaction to happen as quickly as possible. While that's happening, I'm going to rinse out my glass. I'm going to put this down. We're going to add a funnel to our glass, and we are going to put a coffee filter, basic coffee filter, into the funnel. Bigger the funnel, the faster this will go. The one downside about this process is it does take some time. Now, I said before I was going to put it in this lovely bottle. We're not doing that right away because the first steps in here in getting that clarification, that perfectly clear process, is for all of the curds to settle into the bottom of this funnel.
Yep.
That will take time, which means the initial droppings will not be clear.
The drink droppings?
The drink droppings will not be clear. That's fun to say. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour them into a second glass. Once it starts to run clear, then we will move our funnel into our bottle. We'll pour what's here back into the mixture, and we'll continue to funnel through it. Because now all the curds are settling in the bottom of the funnel. So
I'm just going to move this out of the way then.
yes. So we are going to pour this mixture into here.
I'm actually just going to do this.
And we're going to let that start to settle. So we can start to see that's coming through. Let me just get the, see if I can get that fly cam through here. So you can get that to see if you can see what's going on in here. Yeah. Here we go. Fly cam.
Sorry.
We're going to fly cam that in. Now, as you can see, it's starting to drip in there. The mixture that we had, now remember that mixture was quite reddy brown. You'll notice almost immediately, you can see the liquid that's dripping off. All of that, or a lot of that color mixture is immediately missing.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. That's off your plug.
So, grab me, hang on.
Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that
Hang on, I'm
I understand, but there's
I know, I saw it, we're good.
I don't need protein in my cocktail.
All right. Well, technically you have some, it's way in there. So we're letting that sit. Now this is just going to take, so the first initial drippings, we're going to let that go through probably about 2 minutes or so.
Okay.
Let that sit. And then we're going to pour this mixture back into here. And then we will move our funnel, where is it? To our bottle, wherever our bottle is.
Just put the bottle behind you.
Oh, okay. Over there. You hit it.
I said I'm just going to put this over there if you don't need it right now.
Yeah.
You said, okay.
I know, but I didn't see where you'd put it. You'd put it behind here, so I didn't see it. So we're letting that sit. This one, like I said, the one thing about the sort of the downside about this is it takes time.
Most things in life worth doing
Yeah.
take time.
And also, the less you can bother it,
Let
the
it
better.
do its thing.
Let it do its thing. Every time you start to play with the funnel, like I
you
just
did,
did, but I mean, I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Every time you play with the funnel, it unsettles the curds. You want to sort of keep them settled as much as possible and just let the process go.
Science.
Science.
Step one.
So that is our clarified cocktail. So what I want you to remember through the show is that's the look of
this
the
cocktail.
classic Negroni. The colors that we had in here, that sort of reddy, dark brown colors that we have in here, you can start to see it's already...
So you say reddy dark brown, it reminds me of like blood orange a little bit.
Yeah, but when you add that quite dark vermouth, this here, it's yeah, but
like
that's with the
orangey
milk.
pink,
Once you add the milk to it, it's also going to lighten. Just that's how colors work. So I'm going to let this sit for a second.
Don't disturb it though.
Oh, actually, it's actually pretty much running clear right now. In fact, I'm going to let that go the other way. It's running really nicely clear already. So we are going to switch that off. I'm going to put this into this. So what we're going to do, once you have that running clear, we'll move that into our bottle. We'll pour this clear mixture, and you can sort of see it's quite clear. I'm going to put that back in.
It's very gingery.
Very gingery. And we're done with that. And now we're just going to slowly start to feed this into our bottle, letting the curds settle. So I'm going to let this is going to probably take through about an hour through the show. So later on in the show, we will make our clarified Negroni. But for now, we're just going to let it run. Are you okay with that, Elle?
I am okay with that.
I'm just going to put that here so you can at least see it activating on the show.
I don't know.
That's the clarified Negroni. It's one of the things, if you've never had a clarified cocktail, you'll notice immediately just how unique of a flavor sensation it actually is. So it tastes unlike anything you have. The clarifying process really takes the edges off. Traditionally, this is a very, very old process, often associated to what's called a classic cocktail called the milk punch, which I believe Benjamin Franklin is the first person to have written down the recipe for. So we're letting that go. I will keep an eye on that. You can make some pizza. Or what are we doing now?
No, we're gonna go talk to our friends.
We're gonna talk to our friends.
Diane, I agree, and it's so funny because he'll make cocktails, and I will also be halfway down a bottle of wine before some of the cocktails get made. But it's a labor of love, and it actually, this process, I will admit, it changes things. It's cool.
This is a great thing. If you have a party going on, if you're having a party where you're going to want to make cocktails for a bunch of people, quadruple this recipe, do it the day before, set it aside. And what's amazing about this is you'll give everybody a phenomenal cocktail. You'll see once I get to the assembling the actual cocktail, it takes 2 seconds.
It's easy peasy lemon
And
squeezy.
it will give them an experience that they've never had before.
Alors, comme on dit en français, ça vaut la peine. It's worth the pain. Yeah. We're going to ask them some questions.
Oh, we got to ask them
I'm
questions.
going to ask them a question. Just
All
while
right.
I move some, you ask them a question. I'm just going to move some of my equipment over.
Yeah. Every week, we like to get you guys involved.
Actually,
I could probably reach that a
say
bit better than you.
Big cleavage shot there.
And because this week had sort of two roundabout topics, we have both Breaking Bad, and we have and we have science
and sentient kitchen appliances.
I wanted to have one question that was Breaking Bad based and one question that was science based.
Okay, I'm just going to move this over here.
Sort of science.
Pseudoscience?
Sort of science, not pseudoscience.
I'm just kidding.
So the question that I have the first question we have this week is our Breaking Bad question.
Okay.
And it's simply, especially if you watch it, what was the most oh my God moment in Breaking Bad?
Oh my God, like I can't believe that just happened, or
Well, how many different things? Oh my God, it's the most religious scene.
As per the norm, I can think of two. I think, and I'm sorry because this is going to be full of spoilers. So if you haven't watched,
If you've
Breaking
never
Bad,
seen Breaking Bad,
or you haven't finished watching Breaking Bad,
please close your ears and go blah, 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 blah until we do this.
yeah, when he blows up Gustavo in and I think your mother just said the same thing in the old folks' home or the hospital room. That was an oh my God
with the
moment.
half.
With his when he walks out and half his face is missing. And tied for number 2 is either Walt watching Jesse's girlfriend die and like overdose and didn't do anything
So you're
about
at
it.
2. There's 3 now. Are you going to 3?
No, I'll stop there.
How many would you like to go
Those
for?
are my 2. Oh my God, I could have picked a top 3.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question.
You're right. So those are my top 2.
See, I want to start the premise. I'm not a fan of the show. I like the show. I think it's some great acting. I found about after season 2, it sort of got a bit boring for me till the final season. I think, for me, if you choose 2 of mine center around the same character because I think it was one of the more interesting characters that wasn't Walter Jesse. And I think my favorite was there's the moment when Hank puts together that Walter is Heisenberg sitting on the toilet
When
and
he's reading the poetry book?
reads the poetry book. You notice that? And then subsequently when Hank is killed. That, like, I love that character, but that was not the ending I was expecting for that character.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think Gustavo, he had to die at some point.
Of course, but I just didn't expect him to die that way. And to walk out of the room with half of his face just not there anymore.
I expected Hank to have to bring in Walt.
Yeah.
And that somehow it would end with them inadvertently remaining friends, Walt on the inside and Hank on the out.
Yeah.
But no.
No.
So when he died, that was probably my whew moment.
Let's go over there.
How about you guys? What do you have to say? What do we got here? Bettina Breckenfield says you look fabo.
Bettina?
Lovely. I'm assuming that you're somebody she knows.
Hi, Tina.
My mother said the hospital scene, which I'm assuming is the Gustavo. Suze D says, oh my God, he let her die.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Suze also said, yes, blowing up was great. That's my friend Suze. Hi, Suze. I love you, Suze. And Suze also said, woo woo.
What?
Woo woo. Woo woo.
Woo woo.
So that's nice. I love lovely woo woo from Suze. Some Bettina. Joseph said it's a robot friend. It is a robot friend. You have a robot friend. What is your robot friend you have here?
It's just me and my robot friend. Shout out to Ben Cardilli.
So that's our thing. If you have any more, if you have things that you think were like your most, oh my God, put them in the chat. We'll come back to it later. Let's not.
Oh, can we just talk about El Camino for 1 second though? Can
Horrible.
we move away
Horrible.
from horrible?
Horrible movie.
I was so excited. I was like, I don't know.
It was one of the aspects of the story I wasn't really excited to. I didn't need to know that part of the story.
Okay, but I love Jesse as a tragic character. I really do. Plus, I just love Aaron Paul. He's so bonable.
You know who I think is bonable? Napoleon Bonaparte.
Napoleon Bonaparte.
Napoleon Bonaparte. He's the most bonable.
But
I'd bone him apart.
right apart. Just, but yeah. Yeah, I was looking forward to it. I wanted like a little bit more story, as is often the case when I binge something and it's over, and I know it's over, but I'm like, just a little more. And it wasn't.
No.
I couldn't get behind it.
You couldn't get behind. I felt like I say it was a story I wasn't interested in.
That's fair.
Jesse, the tragic story of Jesse and the white supremacists. Not a thing I really.
But that went in. But that also, and I'm just gonna step off for 1 second and put my hair up so I can make some dough.
But don't talk until you come back. Because people need to see you talk.
They can hear me though. You have me wired magically so that they
I know.
can still see me when they can't. They can see me with their ears.
Yeah, but they're hearing you and looking at me, and that's a disconcerting thing for some people.
But maybe it's good for them.
I don't know. So talk. I'll mostly.
Maybe they feel like that. Hi, I'm back.
Oh, well, that doesn't work if you're standing behind me.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the joy of things that are cooking fun. What are we making?
We're making some pizza dough.
Pizza dough.
Yeah, full disclosure. Can you pass me the little, I just want to check the temperature of this water. We're going to wake up some yeast. I hate that word so much. And we don't want the water to be too hot in order to do that. We want our water to be at about 110.
You want
110 Fs.
You wanted Fs?
I wanted Fs.
You wanted Fs. I didn't realize you needed it in Fs.
The hand doesn't mind it.
There it is.
I needed an Fs, and we're exactly where we need to be because too hot, and we're gonna
kill the yeast.
We're gonna upset the yeast, and we don't want to do that.
Never upset your yeast.
Don't upset your yeast. It's not good ideas. So, full disclosure, we had a bit of a pizza making experiment week here, and I made a few different doughs. Did you save me the 1/4 teaspoon?
Yes, I put it right where it was, right on top of that one. I don't know where you put that one.
I put that one in my hand.
Yeah, well, it was literally on top of it. Oh, it's right under here.
Into this 110-degree water, we're going to put 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. Also, I'm going to give that a little stir-ski.
Stir-ski and hutch?
Stir-ski and hutch. Can you pass me the honey, please? Honey?
Yes. Honey, I will get you. Here you go.
Yeast is going to feed...
Here's your honey, honey.
Oh, thank you, sugar. This can be fine just like this, but the yeast will feed on some sugar, plus it will make your dough tasty. So I just go a little squirtsky in here. Maybe a teaspoon-ish.
I'm going to go so they can see you a little bit better. Let's go overhead.
I'm just going to give it a quick
I'm
stir.
going to bring up the... There.
And we're going to let this sit and do its thing for about 5 minutes or so.
I'm going to bring up your recipe then in the meantime.
Cool.
How about that?
I'm just going to let it...
Here you go.
We're just going to let it do its thing.
So that just needs to sit for a little bit.
Well, it's going to hopefully do the thing.
Diane Harvey says, without realizing you were making pizza dough, I just made a batch myself.
Ben voila.
Who are you calling a batch?
It's like it was meant to be. Kismet, great minds, all of those things. So, a watched pot never boils, and watched yeast doesn't like to do things. It gets shy. So we're just gonna stick it over there, and we're gonna, I just used this yesterday, so I know it's not dead. Although I always get paranoid, just in general, and now especially because peeps are watching. But yeah, it seems to be doing some things. So that's cool. So while that's doing its thing, into our stand mixer, what we're going to do, so again, I made a couple of different recipes this week. This was the dough recipe that I preferred, that worked out the best for me. Everybody's got their own recipe. This recipe uses all-purpose flour because it's what most people have at home. You can also use bread flour, or if you shop at Italian markets, they have pizza flour. All valid, right? They're all going to work. Can you, oh, it's over here.
There you go.
There we go. It's already out of the way. So into this bowl over here, I am going to put 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Como eso.
There you are.
See? And into this flour, I am going to put 2 teaspoons of salt. Now, salt can kill the yeast. So what we're going to try to do here with the dough attachment. Now, if you don't have a stand mixer, not a big deal. You don't need the stand mixer. I'm just being lazy, okay? Because my arms are not what they used to be.
That yeast is alive.
That yeast is very alive. Here, we'll just pull that back in and let people see how alive that is.
That yeast is having a party. It's like that scene in The Matrix when everybody's in a...
it's fully...
Here, bring it all the way in. They can't see it. There you go.
It's doing stuff.
It's foaming.
It's foaming.
It's got FOMO.
It does not have FOMO because it's doing the thing.
It's FOMO to there. It wants to be in there.
It's doing the thing. So, like I said, I'm using the stand mixer because I'm being lazy and because like today I grated a block of cheese and by the end of it I had broken a sweat. So like I don't need to stand here and knead for you guys for hours and hours on end. So what we're going to do is I've put the dough hook attachment on the stand mixer. I've put the salt and the flour in here. And all I'm going to do is just on low speed, I'm just going to combine the salt into the flour so that when we pour the yeast water mixture in, it doesn't, like, everything's well distributed and it doesn't get attacked.
Pull it in a little closer.
I could pull it in a little bit closer. Get a little closer. Anybody? No? With arid extra dry. Yes. She's lost her
I
mind.
remember the 80s commercial.
80s commercials. And in here, I have an additional 2 cups of flour because this for sure is not enough flour, but how much flour your dough needs is a function slightly of where you live and how humid it is, what the humidity is like in your kitchen. So I've got 2 cups on reserve over here that we're going to add a little bit at a time once I get the water in. So this, I'm pretty satisfied, is
well incorporated.
Well incorporated. This pretty much, I'm just going to give it 1 more minute, but this is pretty active. It's got stuff going on here. I love it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because there is so much science involved in this and stuff that I'm just starting to understand. I was always afraid to make bread and dough and whatnot. That's why I normally do like cooking stuff instead of baking stuff because
don't mind my head.
It's okay. They're seeing just that
bald spot?
the little bald spot at the top. We should put a Stir Crazy logo there. So that's not very nice to the people at home. So yeah, I was always terrified of this. So I'm not going to lie and say I completely understand fermentation and the formation of gluten and all of that, but it's something that I look very forward to kind of getting more into. And as I've said multiple times over the course of the last 23 weeks, the kitchen is one of the places where I will allow myself to make a few mistakes. So they're tasty mistakes, right? And if not, it's just some flour and some yeast and whatever. So into this flour, yeast, whatever mix, I am going to pour all of this, 2 cups in here. And we are going to get that going again. We're just going to start. Could you overhead me, please?
Yes,
babe?
coming in right now.
Thank
Boom.
you. So we're just going to get that going on low. We don't want to like do too much. We want it to incorporate. And again, this can all be done in a bowl with your hands. My guns just ain't what they used to be. So
yes. Just takes more time.
Well, it takes more time, and plus we have other stuff to do tonight on the show than just watch me knead dough. So I'm gonna get in here.
I'm gonna bring the fly cam in there because it's a little easier to see on that angle too.
I'm just gonna like make sure this flour is down there. There's no point in scraping it down and then taking all of that goodness out of the bowl.
No.
course, you had to get in here the second I screwed this up.
What are you looking for at this point?
Right now, we're just looking for more of that flour to be incorporated. It's going to be wet. There's no way it's going to form any kind of dough, anything that resembles.
You're going to get more of a batter, you mean?
Yeah, we're going, I mean, yes, for right now, it's going to look a little bit more like a batter. I'm just trying to get as much as possible some of this stuff off the sides and then off my spatula. Okay, I'm going to have to ask you to move.
While you do that, I'm going to spring it over here so you can sort of see what's going on with this.
There's so much science happening.
Look at this. Look how
friends.
clear and beautiful that is getting. Oh, it's so cool.
Okay, for those of you who are following along at home, I'm adding about another, I'd say half a cup, quarter cup at a time here. And I'm going to turn this up a little bit. This is the new standing mixer dance. Yeah, standing mixer.
Bigger version of it.
Bigger version of the standing mixer. Actually, my mom and I have a dance called the Mixing Bowls, and this kind of looks a little bit like that.
I didn't want to steal somebody else's dance.
Oh no, you're fine.
It's okay. No, it's all right.
No, it was your own artistic interpretation. So because I've done this already once, or maybe 3 times this week, I'm gonna get at least another half a cup of flour in there. I mean, there's nothing happening to make it look like dough right now. It very much looks like a batter. So I'm just gonna get that in there. We're gonna get that going a little bit higher. How are you? How's it going? And as soon as this incorporates a little bit more, I'm just gonna move this over there so it's not all up in our business.
I used to make a lot of dough.
Did you?
Yeah, me and my buddy Raymond, we made dough together. It was dough, me, dough, Ray, me. You know. Did I mention he was a deer?
A female deer?
No, just a love, just a sweet person.
Okay, so I'm going to make an executive call here in 1 second. I'm going to show you guys.
Let me fly cam that in.
I'm going to just scrape some of this down. I'm going to add a little bit more flour because I'm not happy with that.
It's a little sticky?
Well, it's sticky, and again, it's still more batter than dough. So into this goes a little bit more flour. I'm going to stick this back in here. I'm going to make the executive call that I'm moving it back here now.
You're going to move it back there now?
I'm going to move it back here now. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to let the machine, we're going to kick up the speed a little bit, and we're just going to let the machine knead the dough for us.
Yes.
Come on.
That's a beautiful. Here, let me move that. I can lift this a little easier than you. There we go.
Just trying to avoid that one thing. But
here I go. You do that. I got this.
Okay, don't break that.
It's not all left.
Hey, it's me. Hi, I'm back.
There we go.
So yeah, easy pizza dough. Wham, bam. I will take care of that while you take care of them.
Every week on the show, we love the fact that we have an amazing cast of people who come and join us. And some we actually have to go and join with them because they are somewhere in a headquarters, the stir-crazy satellite office.
Okay. I didn't realize we had a satellite.
It did. It's like the Justice League. We have been joined almost every single week that we've been doing this by one of not only the greatest chefs in the world, but perhaps one of the greatest chefs in this concept of reality. I just watched Bill and Ted. So every week, we like to go and see what kinds of brilliance he can add to the world of cuisine.
See.
And every week, he makes me want to kill him.
It's not very nice.
I'm not a nice person sometimes. But that's only because sometimes one human being lets me down.
See, I'm a fan
You're a fan?
of Chef Duyan.
Well, then let's go talk to the man. She's a fan of Chef Duyan. Chef Duyan.
Hey, Chef Duyan.
How are you? Oh, hang on 1 second. I gotta
Oh.
change your microphone. 1 second.
Please hold, Chef Duyan. We will be right with you, sir.
Boom, 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 ba, ba, ba. Why? Oh, hang on. That's why, because it's not. Oh, there it is.
Hey there. Hi, I can hear you.
There he is.
I
All right, we
hear
can hear you
Yay.
now.
Can you hear?
Yes.
We can hear you.
How are you, Chef Duyan?
I'm good.
Excellent. You look lovely.
Thank you.
Question.
Yes.
Why is your apartment saran wrapped?
Well, because this week it's Breaking Bad, so we're cooking meth.
You're cooking meth.
Ah,
Meth Jello.
Oh,
So meth Jello, and I'm very happy this week because we're going to be using my favorite kind of Jello, my favorite
Yes.
flavor. One that is very hard to find in Canada for some unknown reason. It's raspberry blue. So I got 2 pouch of raspberry blue Jello from Amazon. Thank you, America.
you ordered your. Sorry,
Can I-
that's commitment. You
Yeah.
ordered your Jello from the United States. I'm
I did,
impressed.
yeah.
Thank you, Chef Duyan. That's commitment.
No. Yeah, but that's the thing, because raspberry blue flavor, for some reason in Canada, is only available in pre-made cups. You cannot find the freaking powder for some reason. Anyway, so yeah, this week we're making meth
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 Jello.
Jello.
And meth
Yes,
Jello.
we got that.
All right. So first step we're gonna do to make meth Jello, we're gonna need some Knox gelatine. We're gonna take 2 pouch of it. Gonna put it in a bowl.
Some might have said that might have made you that stuff would have made you win the competition, Chef Duyan.
Probably. Yeah. I kind of lost the competition because Shauna used a technique never seen before. THC oil in Jello.
Who did that?
Elle did that. Hey, did I dox Elle again?
It's all right.
It wouldn't be an episode if you didn't.
I think they know my name by now.
That's why I didn't change mine so drastically.
Once the gelatine is put inside the bowl, I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of sugar. Right. There we go. And then I'm gonna mix it with the gelatine just to make it quite mixed together. So your sugar and your gelatine should be one. There we go. And once it's done, we're gonna add 7-Up.
7-Up.
7-Up. Ah,
I don't know what this is about, but I'll just keep doing
I
it.
think it was sort of a fingers up, 7-Up.
They're like 7s.
Yeah, so we're gonna have 2 cups of 7-Up.
Oh, that rhymes.
2 cups, 7-Up?
Mm.
Indeed.
So we got about 2 cups of 7-Up. Gonna add it to the gelatine and sugar.
I can hear your assistant.
Then we're gonna mix it up a bit. Make sure the gelatine and the sugar get mixed up in the 7-Up.
Okay.
And once it's done, we're gonna put it about 3 minutes in the microwave. So, just gonna put that in the microwave.
So it's Jello, gelatine, 7-Up, sugar in the microwave.
Microwave.
It's sugar, 7-Up, and gelatine. That's all that
like
is.
normal meth.
Yeah. Then, in another bowl, we're gonna prepare the blue Jello.
The blue Jello.
Dun dun dun.
I believe that's Jello.
So we're gonna take the Jello, put the powder in the bowl. Yeah. And then I'm gonna add about a cup and a quarter of hot water.
Cup and a quarter of hot water. Yes.
Here. Yeah. And then I'm gonna stir.
Stir
So you
crazy.
stir your Jello till it's all blue. And then when you're done with this, you're gonna put it in the fridge for about 10 minutes of hours. So you have to wait till, well, no, actually, the blue Jello, not put it. You need to put it about 30 minutes in the fridge, just so it starts to cool down.
Okay.
But you don't want it to set. You want it to be still liquid, because we're gonna put the Jello on top of the gelatine in the fridge. Now the gelatine should be out of the fridge right now, of the microwave.
Just gonna peer in on my dough.
Prepare on the
Once
dough.
it's done, I'm gonna put it in a tray like this, and we're gonna individually put those in the fridge.
Very cool.
Excellent.
10 minutes.
10 minutes to 4 hours. It's all the
What
same.
is time?
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm going to do that, and we'll see each other after.
We'll see you in 10 minutes to 4 hours.
Thank you, Chef Duyan.
Bye, Chef Duyan.
Chef Duyan.
Chef Duyan making the Jello. How is your dough going?
It's doughy.
It's doughy.
What we're gonna
I've
do?
just been noticing we're having an issue with the chat on YouTube.
All right.
I can see everybody here, but I can't see on our little chat thing. I'm just gonna.
All right.
You deal
I'm
with
just
that.
gonna flour this work surface. Yeah. And I'm going to grab, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna
Go,
squeeze
go,
it
go, go,
over
go,
here.
go, 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 go,
I
go.
spy llama panties.
Oh, that's.
We've got a minute or so left on this. It's looking doughy. It's a little sticky, but that's okay. To get us a little bowl, because this dough, when we're done, the next step is going to actually proof for about 2 hours. So we might want to get, can you get some olive oil lining that bowl for me? That would be
Olive oil lining that bowl.
lovely.
All right.
It's got about 30 seconds on the mixer.
We have a bit of an issue on YouTube.
Oh, and it's only because Misty said it was so much better quality on YouTube. It's Misty's fault. Just kidding, Misty. We love you. All right.
There we go.
I am. Let's just see what's going on here. Still pretty sticky, but you know what? We're going to finish this by hand. I think that's the oven telling us that it's time. That's good.
Everybody okay on YouTube? Let me know if you're not okay. I need to know.
Dan.
Oh, sorry.
The bowl is stuck. I cannot unlock the bowl. Thank you. All right. I'm going to take this little scraper situation. I don't have a plastic one, but I have this little metal one. We're going to scrape this sticky ass dough out of the bowl. Oh, it's really sticky. Okay, so we're going to knead it a little bit more than I was planning on, but that's fine. We're friends. We can hang out, have a drink.
There we go.
Need some dough.
We're back on that's working now. Okay. Cool.
It was not good?
I was having some issues with it here, but I think we're okay.
Okay. I'm just going to leave, like, screw that dough bowl. I can't even. So yeah, mine's a little bit sticky, clearly, because it's Murphy's Law. I wanted to make the most beautiful dough while you guys were watching, but that was never going to happen. Ever, never, ever. So we've got this sticky mess, but that's okay, because we're going to fix it. Flour up the hands. We're going to get in here and fold. I just want to flour it a little bit more because it's stickier than I thought it was going to be. We're going to need this dough. And I will be adding flour as we go. Okay, so you just want to use the heel of your hand, get your weight behind it. It's making dough. Yeah? Yeah, it is clearly way more humid in the house today than it has been all week.
Managed to get it all back. Oh, there, Baron just showed up. Hello,
Hey,
Baron.
Good morning.
Good morning, Baron.
Okay.
Ah. And our friend, the guy who loves toes.
Oh, is Toes back?
Toes is back.
Hey,
Welcome
Toes.
back, Toes. We haven't heard from you in
Missed
ages.
you. How you been?
And he says it's the cutie in the black and white shirt.
Oh,
That's
it's
me.
you.
Hey.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I have a black and white shirt. I thought I looked over and went, no, you have a gray
No,
top.
I'm wearing gray.
But technically, black and white do make gray.
They do, but I think he was talking about you.
Well, thank you. I love cute girls' toes. I like your toes. All right. So we're gonna. Let me overhead that for a second. I haven't. This is a perfect thing to overhead. Very bright in here. I'm just gonna move that light back a little bit. It's not so blaringly white.
So yeah, we're just working this dough. It's getting less sticky. That makes me happy. I'm gonna fold it and push. Fold and push. Push, push. Still a little, like, I don't want to take my hand up and have it stick at all. But I also don't want to over flour it, right? We just want perfect dough. It's just the way it goes. I'm pretty satisfied
gorgeous
with that,
dough.
actually.
It's a beautiful dough.
I'm pretty pleased with this. I'm just going to do this.
I'm gonna fly cam into this beautiful kneading process because I think it's so gorgeous.
Just trying to get it a little bit round here before we stick it in the bowl to prove. It's smooth. It's, you see you got some gluten-y stuff happening here. There we go. So into our metal bowl with brush with olive oil. I'm gonna dump that guy in there.
Oh, I was gonna put
We're
that
gonna.
down
Oh,
so you can
sorry.
see it.
Yeah, so you can see it. Le voila. It's quite pretty, if I do say so myself.
It's a very nice dough.
I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap in a minute when I've washed. I'm actually. I'm going to go off camera. To
You
wash
go off
myself
camera.
Up. We're going to stick that in a warm, dry place.
If you have a proofing setting on your oven, now's the perfect time to use it.
Or you could just stick it on the counter. As long as it's warm in your place, and it to be about 80 degrees or so. It's probably not 80 degrees in here, but that's fine. I lied. I said I was.
Do you want it a drier, or does it matter if it's a damp heat or a moist heat?
Just gonna cover it. That's why we're covering it. We don't want it to be any more moist than it already is, but we also don't want to shock it. We just wanted to let it do its sciencey thing. Pardon me for 2 seconds. I know the running water is not ideal, but neither is being covered in dough. I'm covered in dough.
It depends on the type of dough you're talking about. You're talking about the euphemism dough, as in cash, money.
Cash, money, then it's okay.
Oh, that is perfect dough, said Cute Girl's Toes. You are all cute. Aw, you're adorable.
All right, so I'm just going to go de-stickify off camera. And where are we
I want
at?
to see your toes. You should see her to stickify.
Here, actually, I'm just going to wrap that in saran.
You want that, Saran?
I'm going to do it.
You okay? While you're doing that, I'm just going to bring back the clarified cocktail for a second to
That's
see if I can
awesome.
move. Here, me hang on that. I'm going to do that. Difficult. There we go. And we'll put that.
I don't want to put it too close to the oven, but
Why do you put it up there?
Then I can do that. I shall return.
All right.
Do not miss me too much, friends.
While that is happening and while she is off destickifying, we are going to I'm going to bring in the fly cam because I don't want to, again, when you're clarifying the cocktail, you don't want to disturb it. The more you jostle it, it's going to unsettle the curds in the coffee filter, and it's not going to clarify. Now, if you remember, this was a very we started the drink. We had Aperol, Campari, sweet vermouth. So they were all red or dark brown liquors. They were all very, very dark in that sense. We added. But if you look at it now, I'm just going to bring that in
Did you
here.
move the thing I'm looking for?
What thing? I don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah, you probably did.
I'm in the middle of a sentence, though. So as you can see, there we are right now. It is now it's almost like a white wine color. It is all just almost perfectly clear. I may have taken it out of the first pass a little soon, but it is almost perfectly transparent. And all excited, just like almost a Chardonnay-esque color. Well, now when I say you clarify, some people expect that to be absolutely crystal vodka color, which is absolutely transparent. What are you looking for?
You know what I'm looking for.
No, I don't. That's why I keep asking.
I'll use this one instead.
Oh, that one. I put it up here.
Thanks, that's right.
Some people expect it to be transparent, almost like vodka or gin. And again, depending on what you're clarifying, this is just one example of something you can clarify. You might get that color. For instance, if you put in something that's already very pale in color, bourbons, whiskeys, maybe not dark or black rums, but sort of some of the golden or amber rums, and you put those through a clarifying process, a lot of that, the elements that make the color, they get caught up in this process. So you will get almost perfectly clear versions of those things. So I've done clarification to bourbon, for instance, and it came out pretty much like vodka. It looks like vodka, but it tastes like bourbon. It's amazing. With this rich whey feeling, rich whey sort of flavor and mouth texture. So that's what that is. Where are we at? Oh, we're at that. We have some amazing friends of ours who are incredible musicians. And
quite a few of them, actually.
Quite a few
We're
of
very
them.
lucky.
We've been lucky. We've had Ben Cardilli. We've had Lou Lawrence. We've had so many amazing, the incredibleness that was the Rapture-tastics.
It's fab.
But one of our absolute greatest friends, Alex Morris. Alex Morrison. I have a friend who's Alex Morrison, a friend who's Alex Morrison. Sometimes I get them confused.
This is Alex James Morrison.
Alex James Morrison. Well, I don't know anybody's middle name. Is part of an incredible band called The History of Gunpowder. We've had them on a couple of times.
I feel very fortunate. I feel very fortunate to have all of our musical guests.
Yes.
It's really quite something.
And this week, he gave me a new video, or one of the latest videos. It was still shot here in Montreal.
Cool.
For an incredible song called Barrel Fires.
Let's do it.
You guys ready? You guys ready for some music?
Stir crazies. It's the history of gunpowder.
Don't go dancing with Mr. Calloway. On your mind will always come out and play. Wanna be a freak, you never had the time. See, I've been watching, saw a glimmer inside. See about house like it's full of cash. St. Peter's at the gates, going around with glass. Told you them love letters, took up all my time. Now I'm a tourist, seeing the sight. Baby, got a home for you. Ain't much, it'll do us too. Fireworks ain't as cheap as confetti. Yeah, that's the me when you're ready.
History of gunpowder, barrel fires.
And we always talk about Alex, but the whole band, such incredible musicians,
amazing musicians.
Go check them out. They're amazing. They're on YouTube, obviously, and these videos are up on our.
We have links on our channel as well. So if you go to our channel, you'll be able to find almost all of the music we have talked about had on our show.
Yep. And they're good peeps. I like it when groovy, talented people are also good people. Yeah, they're not just sketchy assholes.
There's so many sketchies. Wow. Pizza is happening.
Pizza, well, the oven is going to blow up soon, God forbid. But
I think it is. I think once it gets to the highest, it can't really go any further.
So I'm going to tell you, we did this like a real cooking show this week. I pre-made some dough.
You did pre-make some dough.
I made some last night because the dough that we just made has to proof for 2 hours. So we're gonna leave that. If you know where we live, there's pizza this weekend.
But it not only sits for, but brews for 2 hours, but then did it sit overnight?
Okay, so yes.
Oh, am I jumping ahead? I don't. Sorry.
You're jumping a bit ahead.
I'm sorry.
What it's going to do is it's going to proof for 2 hours. In 2 hours, when we're done with that proofing process,
Just make sure it's okay. I love dough. I love
you're
dough.
so weird. You love dough. My uncle, who was here the other day, loves raw potatoes. People have weird taste.
I love dough.
I love lamb. So after 2 hours, we're going to reflour the surface. We're going to flour up our hands again. We're going to give it one last, we're going to deflate the dough a little bit because by then it should have nice little air bubbles in it and all sorts of good stuff. We're going to cut it in 4. And then you guys are going to make little dough balls. So very similar to the way I just shaped the bigger dough ball that's in the bowl right now. You're going to cut your ball in 4. And you're just going to kind of fold the dough in to make almost like you were folding a shirt. Fold all 4 corners in. You're going to flip it over and just, pardon me, I don't have the Rona. You're just going to make a ball form and use your pinkies to kind of scoop and close the bottom of the dough. Okay, I wish we had a dough that was halfway between what I have that's about to come out of the fridge and what we just did.
But you can theoretically do it with one of those just to show.
I'm going to do it with one of those just to show you. So let's ask them a question.
All right.
Grab some dough.
We had our Breaking Bad question. I think it was very important to have a Breaking Bad question, but it is our science episode. Mm-hmm. So I thought it's important to ask sort of a science question. But I don't want to ask something like trivia-wise. I want to ask something about, and I think science is such a fascinating thing because it permeates our lives in every possible aspect. Mm-hmm. And some people, like I say, are drawn to the science of food. Baking is, I think, of culinary elements. Baking is probably the closest to almost the pure science of food. Mm-hmm. There is science, of course, in cocktails, but then there's a variety of different types of things. So the second question I have for us today.
It's all right. Just get my pizza.
You're being very loud.
My pizza peel.
The second question we have for you today is simply, what scientific concept or discipline do you find most fascinating? This could be, you could say, I am absolutely a fan of, I find everything about the computer sciences or chemistry or absolutely fascinating. It could be a concept, a scientific principle that you think the fact that exists is utterly fascinating. To me, I find that the most fascinating concept is what Schrodinger's cat means. The concept behind, because we don't know if the cat is alive or dead, we must assume that it has to be both, because there is no definitive proof that there isn't, therefore proving that there has to be, or theorizing, sorry, that it has to be
both alive and dead at the same time.
Meaning different dimensions, different realities, mm-hmm. where all of these happen. Mm-hmm. And I think it's, when you start putting what all of that means together, it just blows my mind every single time I talk about it. How about you?
Well, if you know me at all, you know that I always say that I don't do science.
Yes, we know.
I count to 8, and then I start over at 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I did, when I was growing up, I did my aerobics instructor training course. Mm-hmm. And of all of the sciences, I have to say I find biology and anatomy fascinating. Fascinating. How they, and especially, I never got into the study of, animal biology mm-hmm. so much, but how the human, all of the sciences fascinate mm-hmm. me, to be honest. Computer science, least of all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I find that's right now. Computer science to me has always been, because it's something that just touches every aspect of our life right now, and especially when you look at things like quantum computing and AI, what they mean for the next steps of our social interactivity with each other and the world. And
maybe part of the reason I don't care as much is because it scares the living bejeez out of me versus things like.
So did the car.
Understood, but you asked me the question.
I know.
So, I find chemistry fascinating. I was just never very good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at math and formulas and whatever. So chemistry en principe, mm-hmm. I find fascinating. I wish I knew more. I was looking up degrees recently in food science, mm-hmm. Only to realize how much science.
Oh yeah,
it's biochem and it's
yeah, for sure.
But I think of all of them, I would have to say anatomy and biology.
Anatomy and biology.
Yep.
How about you guys?
What your body's doing when you're not paying attention is and what it can do. It's fascinating.
How about you guys? What do we have over here? Joe Smula says the examination of heavenly bodies and anatomy is cool. Astronomy is cool too. Thank you very much. Maria Boucher says the Fibonacci spiral and the perfect ratio are all fascinating elements. Baron von Stick says black hole theories. So fascinating.
Yep.
Whole black hole theories. Like WHOLE. Black HOLE theories. That's my favorite.
Is that
entire black hole theories?
You're proud of that, aren't you?
I was very proud of that. That was a good. And check
Elle's microphone.
Oh, it's because it's pointing not near your face.
Is that better? Do I have?
Let me just check your.
Oh,
you're off here. That's what it is. Your butt is off.
My butt was off.
Let's put you back on. Are you back on? Oh, your battery is very low. I'm gonna go redo your battery here.
Sylvie says in these work from home video chat days, it's more like Schrodinger's pants. Yes, Schrodinger's pants. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
They can hear you right now.
Hi.
But I'm just going to give you better batteries because that will turn off in a second.
Before you give me better batteries, because I'm going to need to. Oh, hold on.
Hang on. You do that. I will.
There's like 3 little bugs in here, and they just keep flying back and forth. It's making me a little bit crazy.
Okay. Sorry about that. I brought them in thinking that you would really enjoy them.
No, I don't. I have a pet outside on the windowsill. There's a spider like this freaking big on our window. I can just say that.
His name is David.
Here you're both low compared to Dan. Okay, we're fixing it.
There you go.
Thanks.
You are better.
Ow. You are hurting.
There you go.
All right, cool. So, friends. Oh my Jesus. Check these puppies out. So, I made exactly the same dough last night. Put the ball in the bowl, let it chill out for like overnight, for 2 hours, sorry. Then I divided it into 4 and stuck it on this baking pan.
Oh, hang on.
And I'm
bring that. Let's fly it overhead.
I'm not flying it overhead because I've got all my flour here. So if you want to,
I thought you were putting it onto there. Is what I'm saying.
I'm putting not the pan.
I thought you were.
I'm putting the dough on, but
okay. Well, let me just bring this in. We're gonna do watch me do the shot. This is gonna be really cool.
Watch
Ready?
this.
We're gonna come in. We're gonna come in. We're gonna come in, and as we go over here, we're gonna go wham
into the overhead. Awesome. So, as I was saying before, I don't need to do this now, but what we could do is go fold, 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 fold. You see how you have a little package like that? If you, I don't know what that is. If you flip this guy over, then we just do this. Okay, so that was for your step before. That was for
putting it onto that plate.
2 hours from now, when the dough is ready to be cut, that's all you got to do. It's as easy as that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a pizza.
Make a pizza?
Yeah. So we're just going to push this down. I apologize. I lost 2 nails. It's sad. I feel very ratchet. I can hear little air bubbles popping under my fingers, and that makes me happy. We're just going to give it like a stretch with 3 fingers, pushing outwards. This is springy. This has got some good gluten happening in here. Now, I could pretend I know how to pull out a pizza like a proper
pizza person,
Italian pizza person, but I do not. So we're going to save me the embarrassment tonight. I could try. We could just give it a little it's technically knuckle over knuckle.
Knuckle over knuckle.
Knuckle over knuckle, and we just want to stretch this out a little bit. See, I'm not good at it yet.
Well, you're fine. Don't keep going. You're doing a great job.
Okay, sorry.
Don't give up just because you failed once.
Oh, have you met me? Shh.
I know. That's why I'm trying to help you get over that.
My wedding ring's also getting stuck in it, but all right.
You want me to try? I got bigger knuckles.
It's okay. My little knuckles are working just fine. See, But the problem I find with this, because I'm not great at it, is we don't want the middle of the dough to be that
too
thin. So I'm gonna keep spreading her out. This dough that we made tonight should make about 4 either 12-inch pizzas if we spread it real thin, or some calzones. You guys can use this for calzone as well.
And one of the things too, I find, especially with pizza dough, is that the shape is less going to be determined by you just pulling it apart. The sauce, the cheese, all of that being put onto it is also going to be a large factor in how the pizza looks.
100%, but I want my dough personally to be more even than this, because as I'm pressing it, I can see I've got holes in some spaces and like a thicker crust.
Is that because you want your pizza to be prettier?
Probably. I am a Libra. I do have a problem with wanting things to be pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know what? For the purposes of this first pizza and getting it in the oven, you know how it is. Any of my burlesque friends, you know how you make stuff like a pasty. The first pasty's terrible. The second pasty's awesome. So you should really make 3 pasties. It's kind of the same with me and my pizza. First one's going to be, it's like pancakes. First one's never great. But I'm pleased with this. Now what we're going to do, Daniel, I need your help, please.
Yeah, coming.
Thank you. Now we can dress this pizza any which. Can I get a piece of parchment for my pizza peel, please? It's getting there, friends. It's getting there. By next season of Stir Crazy, I will have this down to a serious
Next time we do pizza?
Next time we do pizza. I will purposely bring it back in our next season just to show you how much a little practice goes a long way.
Here's a pizza peel.
I did this for the first time ever this week. I had never made pizza dough. I never really made dough of any variety, really.
I think I'd made more dough than you had up to this point.
All right, so
let's bring that over there so they can see that.
I'm going to do that in 1 second. I'm also just trying to fix my corners. All right. So it's
not a nice size.
It's not perfect, but it's a good size for us. El Diablo, why parchment? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to stick this on the very, very, very hot pizza stone that's in the oven already, and we don't. You don't need to use parchment if you have semolina or even like cornmeal. You just want the pizza not to stick to whatever you're going to use to slide it into the oven, right?
And this way you could just pull the whole parchment right on.
And I will eventually, what I'm going to actually do is I will cut this down so that we don't smoke out our entire oven. You don't need to do this. Some might argue that this is a huge waste of parchment paper.
Well, what are you going to do? Write a letter to the...
To those people, I say, mind your own business.
Ever since we gave up quills, there was no need for parchment paper.
No, I mean, I do a nice salmon in parchment, which maybe we could do on the show. I just find this will help you a little bit. And if you're not feeling super cozy about the whole idea of like moving the dough or whatever, this helps a lot. To this, can I ask you to go into the fridge and grab whatever ingredients you would like on your pizza? Yeah. As mentioned earlier, we made the same sauce, we made the same marinara that we did for the zucchini ravioli. We're just going to get that on there. We don't want it super, super thick. This pizza is not super, super thick. I like to go to the edges, personally. That's a lot of sauce. You guys are making me nervous. I'm just kidding. I'm making myself nervous. It's not perfect and I'm having a conniption. Can you tell? Sauce. Très important. We used the marinara recipe, but what we also did, do you want pepperoni on there?
Oh, it's right beside you.
Oh, good. What we also did was added a little bit of onion powder and a little bit more oregano to give it that slightly more pizza parlor taste. We're going to throw some pepperoni on here.
There we go.
If y'all want to throw veggies on here, i.e. mushrooms, spinach, anything like that, might I suggest that you cook your ingredients first. I just find it tastes better. There's nothing worse than getting your pizza out of the oven. The cheese is like perfectly bubbly. Everything is delicious. And then you have like a raw spinach on it.
A raw spinach. Nobody wants a raw spinach.
Nobody likes, I mean, I like a raw spinach in a salad, but not necessarily on.
Well, think of what?
Oh.
We're good. We're good.
I like pepperoni.
Yep.
Also, Dan and I haven't eaten so much today, so I should never cook here with you guys when I'm this hungry. Next little pointer. Of course, your grocery store sells shredded cheese. Bien sûr. Do not buy that for your pizza. But why, El Diablo? It says cheese for pizza. When they pre-grate the cheese or shred the cheese, they cover it in potato starch and all sorts of weird stuff so that it it stays in the package. You don't want that. It's not going to melt evenly. So do yourself a favor. Like I told you, I was sweaty by the time I was done grating all of this. Mama needs to get back to the gym, but grate your own cheese. Also, if you want to use something like fresh mozzarella, like buffalo mozzarella, you don't need, it's very wet. So you want to be careful with how, if you ever notice when you go and get a proper margarita pizza, it's not like all over, they put it in balls. It's because of the moisture level in the cheese.
You want a dry,
you want
low moisture cheese.
Lloydminster cheeses. That's what you need. I don't know what that is. I just made
low moisture cheese.
Low moisture cheese. And as much as I just said, don't buy the shredded pizza mozzarella. If you're in Quebec, I know Saputo for sure has a little ball of pizza mozzarella that you can buy, which is a lower moisture. To the top of this, we're going to throw a little bit of fresh basil. Voila.
I love basil. It's one of my favorite things to have on a pizza.
It's also one of my favorite fresh. This is one of my.
Don't cook this. You said before, cook the spinach. Cook your don't
cook your basil. It's the best smell in the world. The second only.
Me.
Thai basil, and then you. Sorry, you're top 3.
I am top 3.
So that's pretty. You dress your pizza any which way. If you guys don't want a red sauce and you want a white pizza, y'all do you. Do the pizza that makes you happy in your soul. We are going to open the oven. Please.
Oh, sorry. Yes, of course.
I'm
just going to bring this in so we can see that. Here we're coming in. Fly cam.
This pizza stone is V hot, so please be V careful. And on my parchment paper, look at that. Schlack right onto the pizza stone. That's going to burn, but that's okay. You fine. In here, I'm going to put it on for 8 minutes, and then I'm going to check what's what. Actually, that's a lie. I'm going to put it on for 7 minutes, and then I'm going to check it.
Well, in that 7 minutes, why don't we check out our crystal meth?
Oh, you mean Chef Duyen?
Oh, yeah, I mean, okay, we could do that too.
I'm just going to put this over there. So
you put that over there. I'm going to hit this button so we can go over, talk to the man who's making some Jello blue crystal meth. Chef Duyen! Hey! Are you there?
Hello.
Oh, wait, I gotta switch you up. It takes a. Hang on. Are you in there yet? There you are. How are you, Chef Duyen?
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, wow. That looks very
Still, hang on.
blue methy.
Yep.
That's
I was able to demold it perfectly.
1 second. I'm just
pinch.
Everybody's echoing. Hang on.
So now we're gonna cut the Jello into about, I don't know, an inch square cube. Cut it like this. Like this. Then on the side.
You're not going to crack it like Jesse Pinkman? Come on now.
Now I'm gonna show you. I don't know if you can see on the camera.
Oh, that is blue. Bring it up there. Let's take a gander at what you got. Look at that. clear.
Not just blue. It's white on top, blue at the bottom. It's very beautiful. If you have kids at home, this recipe is also called Frozen from some Disney movie.
Oh,
You don't have to call it Jello.
I think
But,
if you have kids
yes.
at home, you should definitely call it meth Jello.
exactly. In fact, if you have kids at home, just give them meth.
And then you can just feed them Jello.
How is it, Chef Diane?
This flavor is why I'm in this.
Well, that's why we're in this
That's the
business.
quote of the season.
Chef Diane, thank you very much for your crystal meth blue frozen Jello.
Do we buy this by the ounce or by the tray?
Exactly. I know a guy.
Probably buy it.
We'll talk to you next week, Chef
You want-
Diane.
Thanks,
Bye. All right.
That is something.
Well, that's still cooking.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get.
You know what
my...
we could do? We have a visit to Kingpin's little forest.
Oh,
Would you like to go visit Kingpin?
we can go visit King. I feel like it's been a while.
It has been a while since we got a chance to see him. What's going on here? Why is it not going? Oh, I know. I'm not in the right place. There we are. There we go. We haven't had a chance to see him for a while. He is finally back. He was having problems uploading for a while, but now he is back. And we have one more adventure
At the Hideaway.
with Kingpin.
S1 2 1 1 5 D2 2. Oh, hey, how you doing? I didn't see you there. Hi, I'm the Kingpin, and this is the Hideaway. It's Kingpin's Hideaway. You know, it's fascinating, the mold numbers that are stamped or pressed into albums. You can actually tell very interesting things from those codes. In fact, there's a whole theory of hey, you want to see something cool? Come on. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I just happen to have this Indiana Jones hat in the shop right now. Couldn't help myself. There's an interesting story behind the hat. It was actually shaped or molded in a very specific way to give that iconic, if you can see, it's got a really, this is the crown of the hat, super high crown, molded off center, which is kind of a weird thing. Gentlemen actually felt that it was very important to shape a hat to be very distinctive for themselves. That was the well-groomed gentleman's way to do it. One of the pieces of information that people have lost in the meantime is that you don't have to wear a hat the way it comes right off the rack. In fact, you can mold it or shape it to however you want. And that whole process is called bashing. You don't bash a hat by abusing it, you bash a hat by changing its shape. You can also redo a hat. Standard off-the-shelf Stetson felt hat. It doesn't have to stay that shape. It can actually become something quite different. The first thing you're going to want to do before you bash a hat is to give it a good brush. These fancy hat brushes are great. You just gotta brush off all that dust that accumulates. You can do this with vintage hats, you can do it with your own hats, hats you inherit. Next, if the hat is feeling a little soft, hat stiffener, I just give it a little spray. So you just want to give it a little spritz. While that dries, you can take this hat, which has been kind of beat up, wasn't taken care of very nicely, as we use steam. Steam the hat a bit. So we're going to take out those creases. And when it's soft, you can just put in a little crease of your own. As that hat cools, it will hold its shape. Let's go back to this one now. So this is the standard off-the-shelf shape. If we give it a nice little steam, First thing we could do with this hat is round out the crown. Of the shapes you can take to a fur hat, you can give it what's known as a teardrop top. The magic of steam, and see it's starting to take its shape. The first pork pie hats were actually bashed by jazz musicians. As they became more popular, hat makers started making hats that shape to begin with, and voila! This is a style that was a very popular way of styling a hat with Frank Sinatra. He would put not just a teardrop, but almost a diamond kind of shape there. Another style is the pork pie hat, so let's try that. Pork pie hat.
Oh, hey!
Hey!
He's almost done. So he's done.
He's done.
You're going to take care. We're going to go check out a pizza's coming out of the oven right this second.
I'm just gonna put this. I'll just put the pizza here. It's fine. Oh,
Okay.
can you just? I can get that. I just need you to fly cam that. I'm gonna
fly cam that.
I'm
You wanna
gonna
get
take.
that?
I'm gonna take care of that.
You do that.
I just think
All right, here we go. Are
the
you
people
ready?
need to see this.
People need
Are you
to
ready,
see
people?
this.
Are you ready?
Fly cam. Here we go. Look at this.
Oh.
Absolute beauty.
Now, I think I'm going to give it one more minute because the crust, it looks good, but it could use like just one more minute around the bottom. I want it to brown a tiny bit more.
Okay.
Just one itty bitty.
Yeah, that's going
Timer,
to be a...
1 minute.
Okay, we're going to go... You do that. I'm going to try and then do this in 1 minute.
Oh no, you don't need to do
Well,
it.
but you're going to... This is going to beep and you're going to have to deal with that.
That's
So
all
I'd
right.
rather-
I can deal with it. You deal with your stuff. I'll do it
Okay.
quietly.
We have this now. As you can tell, there is our clarified mixture. That is everything we did. We ran it through. Don't touch that.
I just wanted to- I was
literally about to finish my sentence, which was, we still have a bit more left. This is not done. We have been running this for almost 2 hours, and we probably still have about another half a cup to go.
I was just going to show the difference in the color of that and what the result is, what you just have in there.
But again, we showed that before. It was a fairly
Okay, I was just going to show from the overhead very quickly.
Yeah, but I don't want.
All right.
Right now, that's at its perfect point.
We shan't mess with science.
Yes. You're gonna go
You're
off,
fine.
so I'm gonna wait because you're gonna want this to come back.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Sure,
Hubs.
we'll go with that.
Thanks, Hubs. All right, here we go.
So
Watch
now you take this out, no matter what. Now that's perfect pizza. I don't think you do that. Let me just. Here, let me hold this.
Well, you've got a fly cam
I got
also.
that. Don't worry, I got it.
And we're just going to do
Perfect.
that. There we go.
There you
That's
go.
all good.
There you go. So now you do that. I'm gonna come back to here.
Yep, all
There
good.
you go.
Everybody's good. We're going to let that pizza rest anyway. So
Let that rest. So now we're going to make our Negroni. Now, if you remember the original Negroni we had at the beginning of the show, what a dark alcohol. Because again, we use vermouth. Vermouth is a very dark amber drink. We used, whoop,
Mike,
I think Dan's mic is off. Is mine good now? Mine is dead now. There we go. Let's get figure that out.
do you want mine?
All right. No, let's just don't go anywhere. We're almost done here, so this will hold up for a little bit longer. I'm just going to leave it there. If it dies again, I'll turn it back on. This, so we had a very amber, vermouth is a very, it's a red, dark red, like a red wine, fortified red wine, so it's a very dark and red drink. We also had Campari in here, which is a very dark red drink as well. We had gin, which would normally like that, but I'd end up with a fairly dark red drink. So now that we have clarified it and we've brought it into this, like I said, it's almost a Chardonnay-esque color, and we're going to lighten that even further by adding some gin to that. So let me just get a pour spout. I'm going to grab a pour spout for that. I'm going to grab a pour spout for my gin. What are you doing? Talking to people. All right. Now this is where this becomes really simple. We're going to make 2 of these. I lost my. There. Oh, it's all. Can you get me another, please?
I
Quickly?
sure can.
Before my mic dies again. So what we're gonna make is this is a really simple drink. So now that we have this mixture done, all we have to do is add our spirit to it. Oh, I'm dying again.
Here, have my mic. You can have mine.
Well,
For now, you.
all right. So there we go. Can you go put a battery in that? So there we have that. So basically what we're going to do now is we are going to basically simply take our spirit. In this case, because we're making the Negroni, we're going to use our gin. There we are. We're going to add an ounce of gin to this. So boom, boom, boom. 2 drinks. And
Are these the reusable ones?
yeah. Just don't use the ones in the lower. Use the bottom far right. And we're going to add 2 ounces of our clarified mixture. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit of ice to that. I'm going to try and clear off some of the flour from my bar spoon. So we're going to add a little bit of ice because we still want a little bit of distillation in this. And we are going to give that about 20, 30 revolutions.
I think I'm back.
Oh, you think you're back, do you?
I think I'm back.
All right. So we're just going to keep that, again, 20, 30 revolutions. You want to get this cool. The more ice you add in, the cooler it's going to get quicker. While that's being done, my wife is somewhere else. I will come over, and to make this a nice, beautiful drink, we are going to take the big ice blocks.
Ooh.
I'm going to put that in there.
Le Très fancy.
And we are now just going to pour. Again, this is so filtered, we don't have to use, actually, we probably should use a little bit to.
A little bit to it.
That's right there. How floury is that? And another one. No, I just.
Okay, calm down. Take a pill. There you go. It's clean now.
There we go.
Fully clean.
All right. So now that we have that done, we're going to pour that. I'm going to pour that. Just turn the water off.
Yep.
And there we go. We just want that over top of a large cube. And the last thing we're going to do to garnish that is I torched a thin orange slice. Just to give it a little torch. Can you go overhead, please, for me? We're just going to have that there.
Ooh. Singed citrus.
There we go. We're going to add that. There we go. That is, compared to what we had,
wow.
That is the clarified. Go with main country.
Pardon me?
Main.
Okay, just.
There we have the clarified Negroni.
It's a fully different color. Like, fully.
And if you taste that, all of the hard edges of the alcohol are gone. You still get the bitters of the Camparis and the
Tell them, don't
Aperols.
tell me I'm tasting it.
You still get the elements of the floral notes and the gin. You still get, and then we added in some of those sweeter elements in there with a little bit of the Aperol, so a little of that sort of sweeter version of the bitter orange comes through.
But even the ginger is softened. Like the ginger, when you were first pouring it into the coffee filter, it was very gingery. This has a beautiful mouthfeel.
Yeah.
I can't describe it
It's
properly.
very velvety.
Yeah, it is It's like
almost like it should be like a maple syrup.
But not. It's not
But
viscous.
It's
like
not viscous, but it still feels like it has that texture. And what's beautiful is almost an absolutely white, clear cocktail.
Diane, I know you said you like to open your wine. This is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the way it feels.
All
It's
the
a
time.
totally different
It takes
feeling.
some time, but it's such a beautiful drink.
Yep.
I even like. Personally, I love this cocktail. I'm a big fan of the Boulevardier because I really love rye, and that is even a much. I love that drink even more. And it's all that is the difference of adding an ounce of rye instead of an ounce of gin. Shall we have some pizza?
Well, I was just going to move some of this.
Yeah, I'm going to move all that out of the way.
I'm just going to put this back in the freezer.
You drink that all night. That's a great drink.
But again,
Clarified Negroni.
It's a different mouthfeel, which is an odd thing to say until you taste it, and then you go, "Oh, I get it."
But I also think too, what's nice is the whey adds a small element of tartness to it, but that's not overpowering. But just has a there's something in that. It's almost like, to me, what it is, it's the texture of milk. It's that same sort of texture of milk without the lactose.
And it's funny because I'm not a milk person at all. I'm a cheese person and a cream person, but I don't like milk.
Yeah.
So to me, this is not the texture of milk at all because it.
I'm going to go overhead so we can see your pizza here.
Check this pupper out, friends. It's not so bad. I'm quite pleased with the bubbling on the cheese. I'm pleased with the bubbling in the crust. Let's take a little knife to it. I don't have one of those fancy large pizza. I have a pizza wheel, but I don't have a pizza. All right.
Red Boxman said, didn't I send you a better gin? Yes, you did.
You did send it, but we drank it.
So good.
So, and unfortunately, at our SAQ, your gin is not available.
Not
but
available.
maybe we'll send you a DM and we can buy some, because we know a guy.
Yeah.
That's Andre from Bootlegger Botanique from Le Pirate du Nord Distillery. If you guys haven't tried this gin, it's an incredible local gin. And they're good peeps.
Yeah.
So again, we like to support peeps who are good peeps. Le Pirate du Nord up in Mirabel.
Good peep. Good gin. But
good.
I think last time I did it, we used his gin for that. That was really beautiful.
Yes. Delish. And let's check this out.
All right.
It's definitely puffier than my last two crusts.
Yeah.
It's not as New York.
No, but I like this kind of stuff. This is
See, I like mine thin. You like yours a little.
Yeah, I like thicker pizza.
But it does stand up. There's a little bit of marbling on the bottom, a la pizza.
Yeah.
Pizzeria.
Oh, it's perfect though. I love it. It's crispy.
Mm-hmm.
You get that, and that's why that's what the pizza stone is for. Is you get that sort of that perfect sear, that high temperature sear of the dough.
But you can also see if you flip your pizza to the side to the peeps.
Right here, why don't we do it up here? We have the whole thing right above us.
Do you get that?
Where am I? There I am.
Those little air bubbles in the dough. It's good. It could have sat on the stone for probably another minute if you wanted it a little bit crispier at the bottom, but I'm not mad at this pizza. It's very rare that I'm mad at pizza, actually. That's a preposterous thing to say.
I like a thicker crust pizza. I don't want to have like Chicago style. That's more of a boat than it is a pizza.
I just find with Chicago style, the only thing is I can only ever eat half a piece to a piece because it's so heavy.
This to me is like that classic 70s. What? We're going on.
I was pointing at the paper towel. Can I have one?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't keep.
It's that set. To me, this is the texture of that sort of 70s, 80s classic pizzeria that I grew up with.
Did they used to?
Chains existed.
Did they used to bring it to the table and like put it on the stand, the pizza stand?
Pizza stand, of course. You always had it. Ours was my mom's watching. She'll know what I'm talking about.
Maureen, help us out.
What's the pizza place we would go to? I can't remember what it was. It was where we always went for pizza, and it was great.
And it's funny, every time I think about the pizza stand, I don't actually think about a place in Montreal. I think about a place in Norwalk, Connecticut. Because my old roommates were originally from Connecticut. And they used to make the best pizza, but then they also used to make a Greek salad in a pizza dough bowl. And it was like the best thing in the world because
Really?
it was actually
That's the best
yeah,
thing
it was
in the
so
world.
good because like you had the creamy feta and whatever, but like it was like the taco salad
like
and the
pizza.
taco. No, I
No.
see. I like that kind of
I'm
stuff.
not a big fan of the bread bowl for a salad. It seems like, well, that just seems like the salad seems redundant now.
Because
I don't mind it for a soup.
really good pizza.
This is great pizza.
No, the cool thing about it is because it was the dough, and then what was left over at the bottom was normally like bits of crumbled feta, olive oil, and like oregano. So it was still really good to eat what was left over at the bottom. It was.
I like this a lot. I like that sauce. It's a rich sauce, but it's still not. It doesn't feel dense. It's really nice. I love this. This is actually, I think, one of our best food days. If you make this with this,
You'll be a happy person.
Next
All
week,
of your existential angst will disappear. Just kidding.
Next week we're starting a new, the first edition of what we think is going to be a regular series. Not series of shows, different points of the season. We're calling it Dining Through the
Dining the Decades.
No, there's a different word I used. Dining the Decades.
That's what I just said.
Not in the.
That's exactly what I just said. Go back and rewind. I said dining.
I can't rewind.
Dining the Decades.
You did it wrong. You did it wrong.
Hashtag pray for El Diablo.
Hashtag you did it wrong. Pray for dad. No. Dining the Decades. Next week is the 1920s. We are going to make some
Vintage 1920 stuff.
some vintage. Well, no. Easy cocktails.
Yep. New York somewhere. About doing a few times. Is not so much how the food changes, what comes back over and over again, just with slight tweaks or slight this or slight. I was looking up recipes for the 20s. Was a or something ice, but the 60s has a ton of ice. Jello.
Very, very.
On my trip.
You're
Good.
Oh, there. I muted myself. That's all. We're good. You're good.
Maybe I just wanted to do
But
that.
I also think I'm in the middle of a sentence. The idea that at one point it was a very fancy thing because in order to make Jello, you had to have a bunch of extra horse hooves around. And only wealthy people had a bunch of extra horses that were either just dead and they could just cut the legs off or choose to go out and dehoofify them. So until somebody came along and found a way to basically take that and package it into a dry material and make Jello. So I thought there's quite a fascinating idea that Jello at one point was one of the fancier things you could eat because it was almost impossible to just quickly make.
I also find it very interesting just because you said that. The flip side, what stuff used to be considered poor people food, or entre gros guillemets, mes amis, but that eventually over time has developed cachet or whatever. Elle's mic is fuzzy. It's good. Elle's going to stop talking because it's 6:59.
Yeah.
We love you.
Well, there we are. The show is over. Next week, Dining the Decades.
Tonight, the Roaring 20s.
We want to thank Chef Duyan,
The history of gunpowder.
Kingpin.
You.
You. Have a happy drink.
Mostly you.
A delicious drink. We're going to have more of those.
If there's
If you want some pizza and you know where we live,
Yeah, if there's tons of
give us a
pizza.
call first. We may not want you personally to come over.
The second back, the qualification. If you know how to reach us, you can probably come over. Stay safe, wear a mask.
Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. And don't wear the mask down here.
Yeah,
Put it
yeah.
over your
The nose.
Over your nose.
Over the nose.
Over your nose. We'll see you next week.